So we're going to go ahead and get started with tonight's canvassing, preliminary canvassing for the April 11th, 2017 general municipal election for the city of Vernon. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our sitting canvass board members. Actually, if you could introduce yourself, that'd be great. Hector?
Hector Garcia, environmental engineer, Parmesan.
Robert Sosa, police lieutenant.
Matthew Ceballos, Deputy City Clerk.
Bruce English, Fire Chief, City of Vernon.
Thank you. And we do have our alternate who's sitting in the audience. Thank you, Ms. Susie Barra. Appreciate it. So as of this evening at 8 p.m., we are in receipt of 43 ballots. 10 of those ballots were received at our ballot drop-off location. So those 10 ballots are pending signature verification. We've also received 4 other ballots here at City Hall that are still pending signature verification. So we have a total of 14 ballots that will not be canvassed tonight as they're pending signature verification from the county, I'm sorry. So a couple things are a little bit different for tonight. Of the remaining ballots, one of the ballots will not be accepted as the signature, after having gone through the signature verification process through the county, did not match. So we are disallowing this one ballot. And before we get into the opening of the remaining ballots, at this time, there is one other ballot that under Elections Code Section 15105, challenges to vote-by-mail voters can be made on the same grounds as those for in-person voting. I have a document, and the document is here. And so these statements are being made to our sitting canvassing board members. Okay, as you will be the ones to make the determination after you hear my recommendation for challenge as the elections official. So I have a document that shows that one voter no longer resides at the address listed on his identification envelope. The document is a lease amendment on a city lease that removed the individual as an authorized occupant 6 months ago from the address he listed on his ballot envelope. This raises the issue as to whether or not the individual is a resident of Vernon and eligible to vote in this election. Per Elections Code Section 14240, as the elections official, I have determined that there is probable cause to have the board consider and determine the challenge as to whether the voter is a resident of Vernon. As the elections official, I'll explain the challenge procedure and rules to you. For a challenge based on the voter not being a resident of Vernon, the challenge shall be tried and determined by the board at the time of the challenge. So what that implies is that we need to make that determination tonight before any ballot is opened, and you will be the ones to make that determination. This means that the board, excluding the alternate, must make the decision whether to accept or reject the challenge. Because the vote-by-mail voter is not present, the challenge must be established by extraordinary proof of the validity of the challenge at the time the challenge is made. And this is per Elections Code Section 15106. The board may request at its discretion that any person present be sworn and answer questions whom the board believes may have knowledge or information concerning the facts of the challenge. However, the board does not have the ability to compel a person to do so. In other words, we can make the request, or you can make the request, but we cannot compel or obligate anybody to come forward. If the challenge is allowed, the board shall endorse the face of the identification envelope, the cause of the challenge, and its action on the challenge. If the challenge is overruled, the identification envelope shall be opened and the ballot removed without viewing it. The ballot should then be processed along with the other ballots. So at this time, ballot that I'm moving forward to be challenged is this one, so, this is the individual, and this is the written documentation. So, I'll show it to them first, and then I'll come over to you guys. So this is the individual, okay? This is the residential lease amendment, where, number 1. Okay? Okay, so at this moment, are you good with viewing that? Okay. So this is the ballot. And this is the evidence brought forward for the challenge. So all 4 seated canvassing board members have had the opportunity to review the ballot envelope and the documented evidence supporting my challenge. So at this time, does the board agree to accept the challenge or reject it?
If we accept the challenge.
It will not be counted.
Is it by majority vote?
Yes.
Not unanimous or?
It doesn't have to be unanimous. And by the way, I'm sorry, this is Holly Watley, our elections counsel. No, it does not have to be unanimous, but it does have to be by a majority. In the event that there's a tie, we will have to bring the alternate up. So feel free to are we ready to do a roll call?
He wants us.
Sure, absolutely. Take your time. Because again, once that determination is made, then we move forward, either allowing it or disallowing it, or if we need, if it's the wish of the board to invite a member of the audience to come forward with additional information.
By signing it, they're saying they live. By signing the ballot statement.
By signing this ballot and not indicating that they have changed their address to another address within the city of Vernon, he's indicating that he lives or resides at this address. And council can certainly correct me on that if
Yeah, he wants us.
So you can definitely, again, take your time. No worries. So what, I can certainly do a roll call, if that's the wish of the board. So, okay. So, to accept the challenge, we'll do that as the first one. To accept the challenging of the ballot for the individual, Board Member Garcia?
In clarification, by accepting the challenge, we reject the,
Correct.
okay,
It will not be counted.
excellent.
Okay. Lieutenant Sosa?
I accept the challenge.
Deputy Ceballos?
I reject
You reject,
the challenge.
you reject the challenge,
Yes.
thereby accepting the ballot.
Yes.
Okay. Chief English?
I have one more clarification. Is there anyone in the audience that can attest to his ability, to their abilities that this person is actually a resident of Vernon at this time?
The canvassing board can, according to the procedures that I specified earlier, the board may request at its discretion that any person present be sworn and answer questions whom the board believes may have knowledge or information concerning the facts of the challenge. However, the board does not have the ability to compel a person to do so. So certainly, it is within the board's right to invite an individual from the audience. But again, it is their right if they choose to do so, to come forward, and they would have to come and take an oath. I would administer an oath, because they would be providing this information under oath, and answer any questions.
And one last question. Can we have council further review on the envelope by the testing of residents? Explain your understanding of the wording of, on the top left box of the envelope?
Yes, they're attesting that they are a resident of the precinct.
Of the precinct or at that address?
Of the precinct.
Of the precinct.
The precinct is.
And there isn't proof that that person is living in that precinct?
There, to the best of my knowledge as the elections official, there is no evidence brought forward to me that the individual does not reside outside of the city of Vernon. The evidence that I'm presenting the board with is evidence that the individual does not reside at the address indicated on the ballot.
I have a question. So
Yes.
there's not evidence to say that that person does not live in the city of Vernon?
Correct. That is correct.
That was why I reject.
My concern is I would hate to disenfranchise a voter that is an actual resident, but there's no proof that that person is residing in Vernon at this time.
Correct.
I would accept the challenge.
Okay. So there being 3 board members in favor of accepting the challenge and 1 board member rejecting the challenge, we are going to move forward and reject the ballot. So it will not be canvassed. That leaves us with 26 ballots to canvass today. So I'm going to go ahead and count out 13, give them to my team to the left, count out the remaining, which should be 13, and give them to my team to the right. Okay?
If I
Mhm.
could, just to button up this procedure, we do need to have the board endorse the envelope that was challenged with the fact that you upheld the challenge on the basis of the challenge.
It's basically just anywhere, right?
I think it's good.
Okay.
No,
Oh, that's the other side, right?
The other-
It's not right. It's
Okay, so I've just written on their ballot challenge, board approved, accepted elections official challenge. I dated it and I signed it, and now I'm going to hand it over to, oops, sorry, there you go. So much. Without there being any further action necessary on this item, so now we're going to officially disallow this ballot for this individual. And you have before you the tally sheets. So all five of us will sign this at the end, but if you can now open them up. And you're going to, as I said, once we open these ballots and we count them, one of you will write, will tally mark, okay, and the other will watch, okay? So one of you will tally, the other one will watch, okay? I'm going to count out 13 ballots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we can put them face down, please. Okay, team one, can you please count the envelopes again? And can you please count the envelopes?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Okay, so we have 13 and 13, so it's confirmed. So at this moment, you have letter openers before you. So if you want to split up the pile, what you're going to do right now is you're going to unseal the envelope. You're going to take the ballot, and the ballot should be inserted in a secrecy envelope. You're going to take it out completely, put it down, put the envelope on one side. You're not going to touch the ballot or take it out of its sleeve. Okay? So let's go ahead and do that, and then we will count the ballots again. Okay? You can both do it, yeah.
This one doesn't have one of those sleeves.
Okay, so we do have a ballot that does not have a secrecy envelope, so we're just going to take it out and put it face down.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are we done? Team one?
I like it. It is.
our yellow envelopes only together, and then you can give them to me. Yellow envelopes only together, yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay, team one, can you count, can you just put your ballots together and then I'll go ahead and count them? And then I'll go ahead and count yours.
Thank you.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Can I have yours? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have 26 ballots. Okay. Before we go in, can you at this time, on the first box, we do have the candidate on the ballot, which is Melissa Anna Ibarra.
Can I ask a question? I'm sorry to interrupt. On your ballot count, we're off by 1. Can you go over the count? You have 26 that you're counting, 43 total.
Yes.
Can you go over that tally again?
Sure. We have 26 that we're canvassing. We have the one that was disallowed for not matching signature in the county. We have the one that we challenged. So that's 26, 27, 28. And then we have the outstanding ballots, which are 14, 15. So those are all here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 ballots that are outstanding, pending signature verification. One was provisional, so that,
One's provisional?
one is a provisional, so that was the difference. Thank you, Marissa. So once again, just for the record, we are canvassing 26 ballots. One was challenged and will not be added to the canvassing. One was disallowed for not matching signatures. And we have 15 ballots, one of those of which is provisional, that are pending signature verification from the count. Okay? Is everybody good? You good? So for the second box, measure Q. If you guys, we do have a ballot measure. Under,
Measure Q.
sorry, yeah, under the second page, yes, under ballot measures, measure Q. Okay? All right. Ready? Ready? Okay. After every 10, then you'll say 10. Okay? All right. So first one, Melissa Ibarra, yes. Measure Q, yes. Melissa Anna Ibarra, yes. Measure Q, no.
So there's a yes.
Where do we mark the no on that?
Yeah, this would be.
Sorry. Okay, so Melissa, Anna, Ibarra, the top one is for the yes. The second one is for no's for Melissa. Measure Q, top yes. Measure Q, bottom no.
All right.
Melissa and Ibarra, yes. No's. Measure Q, yes. Measure Q.
If you don't mind, start
Yeah.
from the top.
Well, it's
again.
okay. We had only counted 2, so we're gonna start over.
This one.
Go ahead and erase.
Erase it.
Yeah, go ahead and erase it.
We're gonna start over.
Yeah, that's okay.
Sorry.
No worries. No worries at all. Okay? Okay, so everybody has a clean slate? Okay. First one, and, okay, so Melissa and Ibarra, yes. Measure Q, yes. Melissa and Ibarra, yes. Measure Q, no. Melissa, Anna, Ibarra, yes. Measure Q, yes. Melissa, Anna, Ibarra, yes. Measure Q, no. Melissa, Anna, Ibarra, yes. Measure Q, yes. Melissa, Anna, Ibarra, yes. Measure Q, no. Melissa and Ibarra, yes. Measure Q, yes. Melissa and Ibarra, there is no vote on this one. Measure Q, yes. Measure Q, yes, there is no vote for the candidate for council.
So we don't mark anything.
So you don't mark anything, no.
And the measure Q.
And measure Q, yes.
Yes.
Okay. Melissa and Ibarra, yes. Measure Q, yes. Melissa and Ibarra, no vote. Measure Q, no. Melissa and Ibarra, yes. No vote on measure Q. Melissa and Ibarra, yes.
We have 10.
10? Okay, so we have 10 and 10. And there's a no vote, there's a blank vote, I should say, for measure Q. Melissa and Ibarra, yes. Measure Q, yes. Melissa and Ibarra, yes. Measure Q, yes. Melissa and Ibarra, yes. Blank vote for measure Q. Melissa and Ibarra, yes. Measure Q, yes. Melissa and Ibarra, yes. Measure Q, no. Melissa and Ibarra, yes. Measure Q, no. Melissa and Ibarra, yes. Blank vote for measure Q. Melissa and Ibarra, yes. Measure Q, no. Melissa and Ibarra, yes. Measure Q, no. Melissa and Ibarra, yes.
20.
Yeah, we got 20 also.
Okay. Measure Q, yes.
10.
10.
Melissa and Ibarra, yes. Measure Q, no. Melissa Anna Ibarra, yes. Measure Q, no.
10.
10.
Melissa Anna Ibarra, yes. Measure Q, no. Melissa Anna Ibarra, yes. Measure Q, no. So team one, how many votes do you have for Melissa Anna Ibarra, yes? 34. Team two, how many?
24,
24.
sorry.
24.
And 24, okay. How many no votes for Melissa Anna Ibarra? None?
None.
And none, okay.
Under
Measure
votes.
Q, yes votes?
We have 10.
10.
10.
Measure Q, no votes?
12.
12.
12 and 12, okay. So the preliminary results after tonight's canvassing, after having canvassed 26 ballots, we have Melissa Ibarra, yes votes at 24. Measure Q, yes votes at 10. And Measure Q, no votes at 12.
Yes.
Those are the preliminary results, and on Monday, we will be having the final canvassing. Some of you may know or may not know, but we do have to accept ballots that have been postmarked with today's date up until Friday. So although today our outstanding ballots are 15, that number may change come Monday. So we won't know until we can receive some tomorrow, we can receive some on Thursday, we can also receive some through Friday. So that number may change. Yes, ma'am.
Maria, we have one resident that had a stroke. Is there a way to find out whether the signature that they disregarded is that person, so that if he wants to challenge that, we can get him to challenge that?
Counsel?
You know, that's something I can look at, before Monday,
Yeah.
and get back to you on.
What I will tell you is that, at least the process involved to now, is that we receive the ballot. The ballot is then scanned. It does go to the county, and the county does compare that signature through their system. And they will get back to me and say, did not match or it did. So that is the process that we followed thus far. But certainly council can look into that.
Thank
See
you.
what can be done.
Do you want his name just in case?
I would say at this time,
Let us
Yeah.
think about that and get back to you.
yeah, because it's a health issue and it's voter and it could be, and you know, it's a privacy issue and
Oh, no,
the
it's
law,
fine.
yeah, the
It's
law
fine.
only allows us to look into certain things.
Right,
Mhm.
but his vote shouldn't be taken away just because he can't walk.
Completely agree, yeah, completely agree. Okay, so those are our preliminary results through tonight. And we will definitely be having a second canvassing on Monday. Monday, the canvassing, I believe, is at 1 p.m.
But we have it for 10, but we'll
Oh.
probably start it.
Yeah, we'll start at 1 p.m. We noticed it for 10 a.m., but being that, again, we have to go through the signature verification, the city is closed on Friday. So that means the first thing when we get here on Monday, if we did receive ballots on that Friday, we do have to send them to the county and wait for them. So I think it would behoove us to definitely give us that amount of time. So 1 p.m. Okay? Thank you so much. So at this time, I'll ask the board members to remain so that we can sign off on the tally sheets. Okay? Thank you so much, everybody, for attending. Appreciate it.